Disney is not happy, it seems, with Ryan. So, yeah, this is a bad update for Ryan Reynolds. It's pretty shocking. Ryan, just take it to court. Get it over with in court. Enough.
In this video, we expose Disney's alleged shift away from Ryan Reynolds and dive into Blake Lively's courtroom drama with creators. From corporate strategies to legal intimidation, we uncover the ripple effect that's reshaping Hollywood's future and its impact on free speech.
Disney is not happy, it seems, with Ryan, and the content creators are continuing to fight back in the best of ways. Let's start with this Marvel news. Now, this dropped yesterday or a couple days ago, and I didn't actually even put it together as I was reading it, but it's hard not to now that I've really stared at it and thought about it deeper. Marvel, the film studio, who, let's be clear, is not as big as it used to be. It's still pretty popular, but back in the days of pre-pandemic with Avengers Endgame, et cetera, movies were getting $1 billion every time. And now, due to the way the theater industry things are, you know, it's a tougher investment for Marvel. They sent out stuff on Disney Plus, yada, yada, yada. You would think, though, that the surefire Marvel movie to greenlight next, after the huge success of Deadpool and Wolverine, would be Deadpool 4. But Disney has made that a lower priority. Given how bad the box office, the industry is, all studios are only betting on sure things. And they've admitted to putting Deadpool 4 as a lower priority to keep costs down. Now, Blade's been in and out of production for so long, I'm not surprised at all that they finally put the kibosh on Blade. No one really seemed to want that movie. They wanted the Wesley Snipes and wanted him back, not some new one. To know that they're now going with Black Panther 3, a young X-Men, and they're now ignoring Deadpool?
What exactly is happening with Ryan Reynolds and Disney? Behind the polished press releases and studio smiles, there's a buzz suggesting things are far from perfect. Disney and Ryan Reynolds once seemed like the ultimate power duo, with the Deadpool franchise bringing in jaw-dropping numbers and rewriting the rules for edgy superhero films. And when Reynolds' charming, wisecracking character stepped into the MCU after Disney's Fox acquisition, the future seemed set. But here's where it gets interesting. Reports suggest Disney might be quietly stepping back from its golden boy. Despite the undeniable success of Deadpool Wolverine, which raked in $1.3 billion and cemented Deadpool as a core piece of the MCU puzzle, whispers from insiders claim that Disney is putting Deadpool 4 on ice. Strange, right? You'd expect the studio to fast-track a sequel for a billion-dollar hit. Instead, there's a noticeable shift toward other high-profile projects like Black Panther 3 and a reboot centering on young X-Men characters. Both are exciting in their own right, sure. But why sideline a proven cash cow like Deadpool? The reasons might not be as glamorous as Hollywood would want you to think. Disney's hesitation isn't just about reshuffling priorities. It might have more to do with Ryan Reynolds himself. Reynolds' personal brand, once synonymous with success and clever marketing, has faced its share of turbulence. His marketing agency, Maximum Effort, which was recently involved in promoting Blake Lively's film It Ends With Us, caught heat over its questionable strategies. Critics didn't hold back, and the backlash created headlines Disney likely didn't appreciate. When you're Disney, a billion-dollar empire built on pristine, family-friendly marketing, even a whiff of bad press can be a little too spicy. And there's more. Insider hints point to Disney weighing the risks of keeping Ryan Reynolds in such a prominent spot amidst ongoing concerns about his growing list of controversies. While details remain murky, these issues appear to be giving the studio pause. Right now, it seems safer for Disney to lean into stories and stars with fewer potential distractions. That's why prioritizing Black Panther 3, a franchise praised for its cultural resonance and unblemished image, might just feel like the better bet. But is this purely a business move? Or could there be something bigger happening behind the scenes? Today's Hollywood seems to be reevaluating its love affair with risky stars. One misstep and the PR fallout can get messy fast. For Disney, the stakes are especially high. As they attempt to navigate a tricky entertainment landscape where public perception can shape box office success, the question isn't just about Ryan Reynolds, it's about what his situation represents. Could this mark the start of Hollywood's cautious new era?
Wolverine grossed $1.3 billion. It seemed to set the tone for the MCU moving forward, and now the rumors are, nope, we're not going to get there. So Yeah, this is a bad update for Ryan Reynolds. It's pretty shocking that they aren't going to sort of immediately rush into a part 4, which could be a clear boon for them, which leaves me to assume that they are worried. Now, we previously reported on this a couple months ago about how Disney was not happy with Ryan about this lawsuit. Clearly, this lawsuit has affected his bottom line. He wants to pretend like it's not, but I really do think Ryan's a big reason why this lawsuit is continuing, why it's gone this far. Think about it again. The real reason Blake Lively got all that bad press over the summer was because of the marketing, because of the choices in the marketing. And Sony wasn't in charge of the marketing in that movie. It was clearly maximum effort. They were putting out other things. They were promoting Blake's brands. To think that Ryan's marketing company didn't have more of a say than Sony, I'm sorry, if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you to nowhere. Clearly, Ryan was instrumental in the marketing of the movie, and the marketing was a huge problem. So yeah, Ryan now has to save face to prove that, no, it wasn't his fault. The marketing wasn't my fault, babe. And also, Blake doesn't like to get the bad press. So they're all, to me, I think they have egg on their face. It affects their brand in such a big way that they can't back down. Even if Bob Iger himself is getting frustrated, which he is, with this whole thing, they want it to stop, and Ryan's insisting that no, it's not going to stop. So this is bad news. This is absolutely bad news for them.
Why are Blake Lively's lawyers being called intimidating by TikTok creators? The answer involves private data, legal intimidation, and a controversy that's much bigger than anyone expected. It all started with the promotion of It Ends With Us, a film adaptation generating plenty of online chatter. While Lively worked hard to market the project, she likely didn't anticipate the sharp criticisms coming from TikTok personalities. These creators, known for voicing opinions on everything from movie trailers to celebrity behavior, had a lot to say, and not all of it was flattering. But here's where things take a surprising turn. Instead of ignoring the noise or addressing it openly, Lively's legal team responded in a way few saw coming. Subpoenas were issued targeting some of the most vocal creators. They didn't just ask to identify critics, they demanded extensive personal and financial information. We're talking names, IP addresses, SIM card details, and even bank records. For many, this sounded less like routine legal action and more like an attempt to silence dissent through intimidation. One TikTok page caught in this ordeal was Pop Diaries, known for its pop culture commentary. The creators behind the account were blindsided. Legal documents arrived at their door unannounced, and by the time they realized what was happening, the deadline to respond had already passed. It was overwhelming, to say the least, one insider familiar with the case noted. Without warning, these creators had to scramble to protect their personal data while juggling their professional responsibilities. And they weren't alone. Another creator, Lauren from Quarter Random Opinion, was also targeted. But instead of retreating, she chose to fight back. Lauren went public with her claims, accusing Lively's team of harassment and seeking a protective order to prevent further overreach. She's even pushing to impose sanctions on the lawyers responsible, alleging abuse of discovery rules. Her complaints haven't gone unnoticed either. Her story has sparked media coverage and support from fellow creators who see these tactics as an attack on free expression. This situation has raised larger concerns about celebrities using the legal system as a weapon. Critics argue that these subpoenas weren't about genuine legal issues, but rather a way to pressure smaller voices into submission. And the nature of the demands, deeply invasive, with the potential to cause personal and financial harm, has only added fuel to the fire. It's not just troubling, one commentary suggested. It's setting a dangerous precedent. The backlash has been fierce. Content creators are banding together online, many pointing out how celebrity power can overwhelm independent creatives who lack the resources to fight back. If this becomes a norm, the chilling effect on free speech could be significant. Some have even called for platforms like TikTok to step in and protect their users from these kinds of legal maneuvers. For now, though, the battle rages on. While some creators are fighting tooth and nail to have their day in court, others are left wondering if speaking out against Hollywood's elite is worth the risk. With public opinion shifting and mounting criticism of Lively's legal tactics, what happens next could have ramifications far beyond just one actress or one film.
And now it's affecting your work. Now it's affecting your boss over at Disney, which you finally got to step in with this big, huge, successful movie, but now you can't even post an Instagram post without leaving the comments on. you have to turn them off. Like, this is not good for your brand, brother. This is not worth it. Now, I've had other sources, less of them, but sources deep inside saying divorce is going to come in a couple years. So is that what's really happening? Is this all just him aggressively, stubbornly trying to prove we were right, trying to just continue to scream and threaten to the last minute? Because that's what this screams like to me. Now, again, demanding sanctions over the frivolous suit, which with is a frivolous request. Again, he's drowning the court yet again with more high-profile demands to go away. Ryan Reynolds has had enough of these utterly frivolous. I mean, I feel like I've read this story 4 times already.
What happens when celebrities try to control the narrative and it blows up in their face? Blake Lively's recent legal actions have done exactly that, turning a once buzzworthy promo campaign into a full-blown controversy. Her attempt to protect her public image has left creators feeling ambushed, sparking debate over how far celebrities should go in silencing their critics. And let's be honest, the backlash might be hurting her reputation more than any TikTok critique ever could. It started with Lively's team issuing subpoenas to creators who criticized her promotion of "It Ends With Us." These weren't just casual requests. They demanded access to personal details like names, IP addresses, bank records, and even SIM card data. It wasn't aimed at just 1 or 2 creators. This was a wide net, issued without warning. Pop Diaries, for example, shared that by the time they realized they'd been subpoenaed, it almost was too late to respond legally. Imagine the stress of scrambling to protect yourself from such an invasive demand, all because you posted opinions online. For many, this seemed less about addressing valid criticism and more about sending a message. Speaking out could come at a cost, but creators like Lauren, who runs the TikTok page Quarter Random Opinion, weren't about to back down quietly. After being targeted, she accused Lively's team of intimidation and harassment, calling their actions an abuse of process. Lauren didn't just fight these demands. She's now pushing for sanctions against Lively's lawyers, alleging they crossed a line by weaponizing the legal system. Her case has rallied others who feel they're being unfairly silenced, turning what could have been an isolated incident into a movement. Here's where it gets even more interesting. These aggressive tactics are causing a noticeable public shift, and it's not in Lively's favor. Legal experts have criticized the subpoenas for being overly broad, with some even labeling them unethical. Then there's the issue of consent. Many creators didn't even know they were being legally pursued until subpoenas arrived at their door. That lack of transparency has only fed the belief that these actions weren't about legal fairness, but about making critics too afraid to speak. The backlash, though, has been hard to ignore. Creators and fans alike are speaking out, not just against Lively's team, but against the bigger trend of celebrities using their wealth and connections to control criticism. One creator put it bluntly: if a celebrity can weaponize the legal system to silence anonymous creators just for speaking out, what does that mean for anyone who ever criticizes someone powerful online? It's a question plenty of people are now asking, particularly as this story gains more traction. What makes this even riskier for Lively is something most PR teams dread. Once public sentiment shifts, it's incredibly hard to win it back. The more creators come forward, the worse it looks, painting a picture of celebrity privilege run amok. At this point, it's not just about the TikTokers who got these subpoenas. It's about whether Hollywood is headed for an entirely new era of accountability when it comes to how stars protect their brands. Could this be the tipping point where celebrities learn the hard way that some battles aren't worth fighting? Or is this just one scandal in a sea of many? Only time will tell, but one thing's clear: creators are no longer willing to stay silent.
Reynolds admits to a deep-rooted need to be liked, probably related to being the youngest of 4 brothers, vying for validation with withholding cop father. I'm people-pleasing by default, as is my wife. We are the first of, as are our first 2 children. The third was, born flipping the bird, and the 4th is TBD. Reynolds knows the trade is double-edged sword. Your boundaries can kind of melt, and that's not necessarily healthy. When Reynolds drops his kids off at school, he likes to remind them, disappoint one person today. Because he's so nice. They're so nice, guys. Blake and Ryan are just so nice. They can do no wrong. Reynolds admits he struggles to follow his own advice, but at least he's figured out a way to channel this perceived weakness into a strength. He knows how to charm A-listers, CEOs, and crucially, the consumer. In another life, Reynolds would have been the chief marketing officer for a Fortune 500 company. He just happens to become one of the world's biggest movie stars instead. Oh, look at him. Isn't he nice? And he's so cute too, because as he's doing all this, he's even promoting, oh, we should do it so it's the back of my head. Wouldn't that be so much funner? Ha ha ha. And they're like, okay, Ryan, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Which then he's putting out there. But as you go through his thread where he talks about all this, one other thing I want to point out before we get to the Justin Baldoni quote that I find very telling. As he's sharing and thanking all the people involved, and thank you, Time, and for playing, it's not an easy day of for playing, it's not every day. A giant journalism like Time plays with form by releasing a cover featuring the back of someone's head. Who cares? Huge thanks to E. Dockerman for delivering an incredible piece and humoring me with all my own curiosities about the state of journalism, and then, now, and future. Your insight is hugely valuable to me and so many others. So many others. And now go read this article, which then downplays everything.
Is Disney's calculated shift away from Ryan Reynolds tied to the uproar surrounding Blake Lively's legal actions? It's hard not to notice the parallels. Both situations revolve around public perception, brand safety, and the increasing power of online creators to influence the narrative. For Disney, known for its careful curation of image and messaging, these recent events might be shaping larger decisions about which stars and projects they choose to back. Here's where it starts to connect. Insiders suggest that Disney's hesitation regarding Ryan Reynolds may stem from concerns over his growing controversies, like his company Maximum Effort, and the backlash it faced during its marketing for Lively's It Ends With Us. As the entertainment world reacts to creators speaking out against Lively's legal moves, it spotlights how quickly public sentiment can shift, and just how fragile a celebrity's image really is. This isn't lost on Disney, which thrives on maintaining its family-friendly reputation. The stakes are high for a studio that, unlike smaller companies, can't afford a PR misstep when its billion-dollar franchises are on the line. Look at Disney's current project lineup, and you'll see them leaning into safer, rooted stories. While Deadpool Wolverine became a blockbuster hit with over $1.3 billion in earnings, its follow-up isn't racing toward production. Instead, the studio has shifted focus to Black Panther 3: Guerson, widely celebrated for its cultural significance and steady fan base, and a young X-Men reboot designed to capture newer, less divisive audiences. The message seems clear: better, less risk, even if it means putting megastars like Reynolds on the back burner. It's not just a Disney issue. Studios across Hollywood are grappling with the complexity of modern PR. Blake Lively's legal moves against skeptical TikTok voices, demanding creators' private details under the guise of subpoenas, is an example of how celebrities are actively trying to control criticism in a digital age. But instead of silencing dissent, these high-profile attempts to clamp down are creating even louder responses. Disney seems to have noticed and is taking note of public reaction, with caution being the new trend. If Reynolds' close branding ties to some of these controversial projects are seen as too risky, it's inevitable he'd feel the fallout. What's key here is how much social media has shifted the power dynamic. Creators now amplify scandals instantly, influencing PR strategy in real time. Studios can no longer fully control their stars' images, as digital platforms give audiences a louder voice than ever before. Disney, like many others, appears to be navigating this by stepping back from what it views as unpredictable risks. It's no longer just about the box office numbers, it's about carefully managing the full picture. For Reynolds, and for celebrities like Lively who are openly battling creators, the stakes have never been higher. Can creators survive the crushing legal and financial weight of standing up to Hollywood's elite? It's a question creators like Popcorn Planet are navigating in real time, and it's costing them more than anyone imagined. What started as using their platform to critique celebrity actions has turned into a legal battle of staggering proportions, forcing them to rethink how they even sustain their work while defending their right to speak out. Popcorn Planet, known for its sharp commentary on Hollywood and pop culture, is at a critical crossroads. As legal fees pile up, it's not just the lawsuits they're up against. It's also the financial reality of fighting back in a system designed to favor deep pockets. If a celebrity can weaponize the legal system to silence anonymous creators just for speaking out, what does that mean for anyone who ever criticizes someone powerful online? The channel's host questioned. It's not just a rhetorical concern, it's happening now. The costs aren't limited to courtroom battles either. The constant threat of litigation eats up their time, energy, and resources, leaving them scrambling to keep creating content for their audience. But Popcorn Planet isn't going down quietly. They've launched an ambitious plan to push back against intimidation, headlined by an upcoming documentary that aims to expose the darker side of the creator harassment Hollywood dynamic. The documentary isn't just a cinematic project, it's a survival strategy. They've opened calls for crowdfunding, relying on their loyal community to help cover mounting legal expenses and critical production needs. Platforms like GiveSendGo have become lifelines, with viewers chipping in to ensure the channel doesn't have to fold under pressure. Community support has extended further into memberships on their website, where exclusive content keeps their audience engaged while strengthening their financial base. Crowdfunding isn't just a tactic, it's quickly becoming the cornerstone of creator resilience. The stakes in battles like this extend far beyond Popcorn Planet itself. Smaller creators look to them as a test case, wondering if collective action and grassroots funding might be the key to surviving blowback from Hollywood's wealthiest and most powerful figures. High-profile stars like Blake Lively have the resources to launch legal actions that creators argue are less about rights and more about silencing opposing voices. But now, creators are flipping the script, shifting the narrative to focus on the price being paid in both money and morale to challenge institutions clinging to outdated methods of control. For creators like Popcorn Planet, the goal isn't just survival. It's turning these mounting challenges into fuel for a broader conversation about free speech, inequality, and the real cost of telling the truth. And while the future is uncertain, one thing's becoming clearer. Creators aren't backing down. The fight isn't over yet, and every legal challenge thrown their way only adds more weight to a movement bigger than any single Hollywood star. Hollywood's behind-the-scenes power plays are unraveling, and for once, creators are the ones holding the spotlight. The backlash against Blake Lively's legal tactics and Disney's calculated moves away from risky stars like Ryan Reynolds reveal one thing: transparency and accountability are more critical than ever. Creators are no longer just consumers. They're shaping narratives, challenging the old rules, and exposing Hollywood's less polished side. This shift matters. It's a battle for free speech, a rebalancing of power. So support the voices rewriting the narrative. Because as creators rise, the question remains: how far can they push Hollywood to embrace real change?